Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has released his first depth chart for the 2024 season in preparation for the first preseason game this week against the Houston Texans on Friday night. So today we're going to be reacting to that depth chart and what it means for the Pittsburgh Steelers as we approach the first preseason game. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are as pumped as we are for the 2024 season, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal this year, man. You got Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Somebody's going to come down with that QB1 job, and we know that this roster is capable of really doing some damage. So if you're excited as we are, man, make sure you click that thumbs up icon to kick off today's show. So the quarterbacks here, Russell Wilson, kind of unsurprisingly, listed as the number one quarterback, even though he's missed, the first couple weeks and, missed quite a bit of time in practice. He is still in pole position, according to Mike Tomlin. Justin Fields is slated to be the number 2 quarterback. Kyle Allen, the number 3, and John Rice Plumlee, the UDFA, is slated in the 4th spot. So let's see what Mike Tomlin had to say about this depth chart and the QB competition as a whole. He says it's very much a competition. What happens in stadium is weighted heavier than what happens in a practice setting because it's more game-like. And that's definitely a Mike Tomlin-esque quote there. And what that kind of means, guys, is that Justin Fields needs to ball out in the preseason games if he wants any chance of being the week 1 starter for your Pittsburgh Steelers. He can't go out there and throw 2 picks, right? He can't go out there and be like 1 for 6 or 7, right? He's going to have to go out there and at least show that he can go up against a first-team NFL defense that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers and play well in a game-type setting in the preseason. That's something that he's going to have to prove. He's done really well in the practices to this point, but as Mike Tomlin just said there, it's going to be a higher weight that comes with these preseason games. And listen, man, if Russell Wilson doesn't play in the preseason, and by the way, he is not going to be playing in this first game. So if he doesn't play at all in the preseason, he's going to be QB1 for week 1. All right. Plain and simply, if this is a true quarterback competition, you put both of these guys out there and you see who plays better, and the person that plays better wins the competition. But if the Steelers hold back on Russell Wilson and they don't play him in these preseason games, that means they want him healthy for week 1, and he's going to be the guy under center taking the first snaps of the season. So let me know down there in the comments section, what is the percent chance that Russell Wilson is the week 1 starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Put it on a scale of 0, meaning no way he's the starter, compared to 100, which would be 100% he's definitely going to be the starter. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know on a scale of 0 to 100, the percent chance that Russ is the week 1 starter. Let me get to the running back depth chart here. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren are there at RB1 and RB2, of course. And you got Cordero Patterson, LaMichael Pirine, Jonathan Ward, and Dajan Edwards are the next guys up on the depth chart. No big surprises right there. And I do think Najee and Warren are going to be kind of battling out to see who's going to get the most reps once the season arrives. Right now, Najee seems to have the lead. Then the fullbacks. What kind of surprised me a little bit is that Connor Hayward was listed as the number 1 fullback over Jack Colletto, who's been getting a lot of first-team reps at fullback. But, if Colletto really shows his worth, he could potentially make this roster as this team's fullback. But Connor Hayward, the value that he brings to the table is that he can do a bunch of different things. He can play tight end. He can play fullback. He can do a bunch of things for this team, whereas Colletto would be a true fullback. And do the Steelers really want to keep a true fullback on this team? I guess we'll have to see. Then the wide receivers here, you got George Pickens, Van Jefferson, and Calvin Austin III as your first 3 guys up, followed by Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, and Quez Watkins. You can definitely see the distinction in practice between these guys because of the reps that they're getting. The top 3 guys are getting the most, whereas Wilson's dealing with an injury, and Scotty Miller and Quez Watkins are working more with the second team. Des Fitzpatrick, Jacob Copeland, and Tariq Black finish out the depth chart there. Then we get to the tight ends. Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington listed as the top 2 guys. Then we got Mr. Connor Hayward listed as the 3rd tight end as well as the first fullback. So it definitely seems like the Steelers are going to want to play him at both spots this year. Michael Pruitt, Rodney Williams, and Matt Sokol finish out the rest of that group. Then we get to the offensive line depth chart here. And you've got Broderick Jones listed as the starting right tackle, Dan Moore Jr. listed as the starting left tackle, Nate Herbig listed as the starting center over Zach Frazier, Troy Fautano, kind of interesting, listed as the backup left tackle, even though he's been playing exclusively on the right side in practices. So this is definitely interesting to me. I think that this is a very fluid situation along this offensive line. I think Fautano and Frazier both have decent chances to sneak into the starting lineup by week 1. So coming up next here on Steelers Talk, onto the defense, the defensive roster for your Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the first week of the preseason. But before we get into that, I want to have a word from our sponsor here at GameTime, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, right on the app, and their lowest price guarantee. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets to whatever event that you choose. Cassie and I just got tickets to a couple games at beautiful PNC Park when we just went to Pittsburgh for our trip this last weekend, and we got our tickets on GameTime for the lowest price guarantee, and we got fantastic seats for an unbelievable price. What I love about using the GameTime app is that you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, whether it's sports, music, comedy, or theater, whatever the case may be. You're going to get the lowest price guarantee. You get all-in pricing right on the app, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout. And then if you're somebody who likes to wait last minute to get tickets, GameTime rewards you for that with flash deals, so you get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the event. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. One word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, right down there in the bottom right of your screen for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. When we get to the defensive line here, Cameron Hayward is listed as the 3 technique, Keanu Benton as the 1 at the nose, and then Larry Ogunjobi as the 3-4 defensive end. You also got DeMarvin Leal listed pretty high here on the depth chart. He's been impressive in practices. Montravius Adams is the backup nose tackle. Dean Lowry as the second team 3-4 defensive end there. Then Loudermilk, Fehoko, and Logan Lee finish out the rest of that grouping. Then we get to the offensive outside linebacker group here. T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, obviously your number 1 and number 2 combo. Nick Herbig is listed as your backup outside linebacker. Marcus Golden is also in there. And then Kyron Johnson and Jeremiah Moon finish out the rest of the outside linebackers. Then we get to the inside linebacker depth chart here. And you got Landon Roberts and Patrick Queen listed as your 2 inside guys, with Medikevich, Peyton Wilson, Mark Robinson, and Cole Holcomb finishing out the rest of the group. The fact that Holcomb is that far down, by the way, is not a good sign that he's going to be ready for week 1. Now, before we get to the secondary here and special teams and we finish out today's video, make sure you click that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content here on Steelers Talk. It's 100% free. We have daily videos for you guys. We got weekly live shows, including a watch party for the Pittsburgh Steelers every single week. So if you want a place to come hang out with your fellow Yinzers here, this is going to be the place for you. Join the over 55,000 Yinzers already subscribed to our channel by clicking that subscribe button right now. Then we get to the safeties, and Minka and Deshaun Elliott are listed as the 2 starters. No surprises there. But what's a little surprising to me is that DeMonte KZ is listed as a strong safety, and Miles Killebrew is listed as a free safety when it's usually been flipped in years past. Ryan Watts is listed as a safety as well, and then Nate Meters finishes out the rest of the depth there. And then maybe one of the bigger surprises here in this depth chart is Beanie Bishop Jr., the undrafted free agent, is listed as the starting nickel for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Mike Tomlin is somebody that usually doesn't like to put rookies higher up on the depth chart early, but I think in this type of situation, Beanie has certainly proven himself in camp to this point, and he has earned the right to call himself the starting slot corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson, of course, are your other starting corners, followed by Darius Rush, Corey Trice Jr., and Graylin Arnold. Averett, Barnes, and Sutton finish out the rest of that group. Then the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the special teams depth chart here, guys. Chris Boswell is above Matthew Wright on the kicking depth chart, of course. Cam Johnson, who's had himself a fantastic camp to this point, is the only punter on the roster, and Christian Kuntz is the only long snapper on the roster right now. So you tell me, let me know down there in the comments section, what is the biggest surprise on the depth chart? this week? Let me know down there in the comments section. Is it that Russell Wilson's number one QB? Is it Beanie Bishop already being designated as the number one starting slot? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. What was the biggest surprise? Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. If you want more free Steelers videos every single day here on YouTube, you guys know what to do. Click that subscribe button and join the Steelers Talk family.